2025, but we are here in the English countryside about an hour and a half outside of London, and the verdict is in. We've been quiet, listening to liars continue to lie and keeping to ourselves, living and loving our life, as we said, leaving everything in God's hands and letting our lawyer do the talking. But according to the courts, trying to ruin my name and trying to bring harm to my family in a book filled with lies equals $8.8 million. And this is just the beginning, because anyone and everyone that helped promote these lies will hear from my lawyer in the days to come. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. That from my voicemail is the voice of a liar.
Do not text Miko again. Do not call Miko again. Leilani, if you are also checking these messages, that goes for you as well. I am very serious about this. I am very serious about this. Do not text him, period. Period. Please understand that. And Brian, you know me. You know me. And you know that I mean what I'm saying to you.
It's been a long journey getting to this day, October 16th, 2025, but we are here in the English countryside about an hour and a half outside of London, and the verdict is in. We've been quiet, listening to liars continue to lie and keeping to ourselves, living and loving our life, as we said, leaving everything in God's hands and letting our lawyer do the talking. But according to the courts, trying to ruin my name and trying to bring harm to my family in a book filled with lies equals $8.8 million. And this is just the beginning, because anyone and everyone that helped promote these lies will hear from my lawyer in the days to come. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. That from my voicemail is the voice of a liar.
Do not text Miko again. Do not call Miko again. Leilani, if you are also checking these messages, that goes for you as well. I am very serious about this. I am very serious about this. Do not text him, period. Period. Please understand that. And Brian, you know me. You know me. And you know that I mean what I'm saying to you.
It's been a long journey getting to this day, October 16th, 2025, but we are here in the English countryside about an hour and a half outside of London, and the verdict is in. We've been quiet, listening to liars continue to lie and keeping to ourselves, living and loving our life, as we said, leaving everything in God's hands and letting our lawyer do the talking. But according to the courts, trying to ruin my name and trying to bring harm to my family in a book filled with lies equals $8.8 million. And this is just the beginning, because anyone and everyone that helped promote these lies will hear from my lawyer in the days to come. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. That from my voicemail is the voice of a liar.
Do not text Miko again. Do not call Miko again. Leilani, if you are also checking these messages, that goes for you as well. I am very serious about this. I am very serious about this. Do not text him, period. Period. Please understand that. And Brian, you know me. You know me. And you know that I mean what I'm saying to you.
Because that's just what's happening. We are winning. We 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 winning. Yeah. Yeah. We winning. We winning. We winning. I know they hating out here. Yeah. I know they mad. They all in their feelings. But baby, I don't care. She calling the police on me and everything. Yeah. Somebody need to get on the phone. Call my attorney. Dealing with these hard-headed hoes who ain't learned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Super Shit TV. I'm your host, Alvin Holden, also known as Project 8020, here with my brother, Broken Blade. What's up, bro? How are you doing, sir?
What's up, man? I'm good.
Good. I thought I would just kind of start us off with a little bit of news that is rattling cages all around the world. I don't know if you got a chance to get any info on this. It just kind of came across my desk. Apparently,
Not yet. I saw AC made a video about it.
yeah,
The cases are trying to cancel our boy.
yeah. Well, I mean, you know what? I'll let him say what he's got to say, and we're gonna read an article, and I want you to just check out the narrative. This is the only reason why I wanted to cover this. It's just like, just the narrative is pretty crazy, and then we'll get into the Charlie Kirk crap or whatever.
Gotcha.
But I just thought that this was pretty interesting. Let's let this rock. Go on ahead.
It's been a long journey getting to this day, October 16th, 2025, but we are here in the English countryside about an hour and a half outside of London, and the verdict is in. We've been quiet, listening to liars continue to lie and keeping to ourselves, living and loving our life, as we said, leaving everything in God's hands and letting our lawyer do the talking. But according to the courts, trying to ruin my name and trying to bring harm to my family in a book filled with lies equals $8.8 million. And this is just the beginning, because anyone and everyone that helped promote these lies will hear from my lawyer in the days to come. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. That from my voicemail is the voice of a liar.
Do not text Nico again. Do not call Nico again. Leilani, if you are also checking these messages, that goes for you as well. I am very serious about this. I am very serious about this. Do not text him, period. Period. Please understand that. And Brian, you know me. You know me. And you know that I mean what I'm saying to you.
Whenever I hear that, like that finger wagging tone, it just like, you know, like it causes a reaction. It causes a reaction. Here, let's go over to here. Let me do this. We'll go over to TMZ and read this article real quick. The narrative around it is just crazy to me. That's why I was like, wow, this is nuts. So let's see, can I get rid of this? I'm not gonna bother with it. It says Brian McKnight is already declaring victory in his defamation case against his ex-wife Julie McKnight after she didn't appear in court. Yeah, he's already declaring victory because he won. If she didn't show up, he won. Brian filed a motion for default judgment and is waiting for the court to sign off to make his win official, but that technically didn't prevent Brian from celebrating. R&B legend posted a video of himself smoking a cigar, saying the verdict is in, and it isn't, according to the courts, trying to ruin my name and trying to bring harm to my family in a book filled with lies equals $8.8 million. The suit alleges Julie made false claims about Brian in her book, Mama Bear, Beautifully Blended, basically calling him a schmooshtive husband and neglectful father to their children. The gleeful video continues with Brian running around and clicking his heels while a voicemail ostensibly from Julie plays. Do not text Nico again. We heard that voice demands. Brian, you know me, and you know what me when I'm saying this to you. Nico was their son that passed from cancer at 32. Again, that message played over Brian literally skipping. On October 6th, the parties involved in the case were given 21 days to respond, so stay tuned to see how it turns out. Oh, and that's it. That's it. But, I never see comments on these things, but I actually got some comments on here. Just another example of what kind of man you are. RIP to Nico. You can go straight to H, where you belong. Somebody did chime in and said there are two sides to every story. Calm down, sir. Let's hear what the rest of these comments say. He's a deadbeat dad who disowned his children, a disgusting person. Wow.
Then why would she be telling him not to call or text the son if he wasn't there?
Well, real
making no
quick,
effort to be there.
I believe that not only was he there, but I believe he was also paying for their stuff. I think that he was financially involved, but she made it difficult for him to be physically involved, from what I can tell.
Of course.
And again, I don't. I mean, this story is old as time as far as we're concerned. We've known and heard about this a million times.
I've had too many childhood friends complaining on social media about wanting to see their kids and their baby mama doing everything they can to keep them away from them.
So, what are the chances of Brian McKnight, a wealthy man, an artist, someone that's, what are the chances of him being an actual deadbeat father? I mean, really, like, what are we even talking about? Like, what are we talking about? He's just so gross. He's an excellent artist, but a bad husband and father. He replaced his son, who was his namesake, and remarried a young woman and had another namesake. He doesn't acknowledge his first Brian Jr.'s messed up, typical midlife crisis. Person who divorces after 20 years plus and remarried a young woman. Bro, it's just so crazy how people can just push these narratives.
New namesake because the original wife would not let him see his kids.
And not only that, man, I'm under the impression, and again, I could be completely wrong. But I'm under the impression that they damaged his home, like they damaged his property. They broke stuff. They were just terrible. I'm confused over the past several years. What I've heard regarding relationships with his children, etc. I don't have the same positive thoughts about him as I did in the past. For some reason, he seems not to be a nice person. Always loved his music, but I'll pass on his recent behavior. Bro, when they don't like us, dog, they could just
Shades of Aaron Sloan. How dare he stand up for himself?
Yeah. The second you fall out of favor, and you don't fall in line and worship at the feet of the gynocracy, like, they will string you up. And the cold part about it is there's probably a whole bunch of simp lollipoppies in here that will help, that'll hold your feet, that'll hold your arms behind your back. But
a loyal 300 and a disloyal 15,000.
It's pretty disgusting, really. It's pretty disgusting. It's vile and disgusting for TMZ to print this story. Keep your private life private. You don't want this anywhere. TMZ, like a rabid dog, vicious and vile. That's true. That's true. He was a great father to his kids until he stopped paying child support when they reached 18. Then the bitter ex-wife, he moved on with the younger woman. Thank you, God. Finally, someone was Jesus. I was wondering if it was going to go the whole way. What is up with all this gay stuff, man? Stuff is rainbow everywhere. He didn't cheat on his wife for 20 plus years with another woman, and he had a baby. Then this one divorced him and married another. This time a young Hawaiian woman, and had another child called Brian McKnight Jr. So he replaced the first junior with another junior. I mean, naming him Brian McKnight Jr. is kind of crazy. That's a little bit crazy. That's a little bit weird. I mean, you can't have the same name, exact same name. That's a little. I mean, I guess if you want your namesake, but like two juniors is kind of crazy, you know? Am I tripping? Two juniors?
A little bit, yeah.
Two juniors? I mean, I get it.
What he intended to be his namesake, like, we don't know the details, but we see the story so many times. You could have completely poisoned the kid's mind to hate him.
110%, bro.
So 100%. I can kind of see him saying, you know what, fuck it.
I mean, I can see that. He's got pushed to the point to where he's like,
yeah. Also,
you know what? Let me hit the reset button altogether and Do it again. All right. So Broken Blade. I keep seeing all these. Is Charlie Kirk the Martin Luther King of MAGA, and is this the George Floyd moment? And I was trying to figure out, like, okay, where are these? Oh, you know what? I'm so rude. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Braxton. What's up, bro? How are you doing, sir? I'm like, well, like, what's the real deal? What's the real deal with this? What's the real deal with this comparison? You know? And whenever I start to hear some of these kind of comparisons, I say, okay, are they making this comparison as justification for behavior or something that's about to happen? Or are they using the justification or using the example to build in an excuse for bad behavior? And so I started to really just say, like, wow, you got to be, I guess it's really dumb to try to make these comparisons, right? And the main part about it is, unless the US government is going to admit that they're behind what happened, the main thing behind all these other issues is that it was these other two endings of life were from government sanctioned bodies. It was the police that killed George Floyd. Our tax dollars, yours and mine, everyone that's listening, it was our tax dollars that paid the salaries for the people that murdered that man, for lack of a better term. Probably should have said something else. But Martin Luther King, same thing. But you're going to put that in the same bucket with some, and again, maybe they hit him with the razzmatazz, and and dude did the MKO, and did the thing, maybe, but no one's admitting to that yet, right? And so as of right now, it seems as though he's been deleted by his own kind. Now, I personally, I believe that one of these entities did actually take him out, and it was one of his own, and the calls came from inside the house. That's my opinion. That's what I'm speculating, but that's not. There's no proof of that yet. Yeah. And as far as Wikipedia and the news and whatever, they're trying to put this deletion on this guy that they got locked up right now. So again, it just made me kind of go back a little bit and say, you know what? Let me just review what are they really saying now, right? Because it's like, what are they? Because we already know that the things aren't adding up with this, right? Like I don't know how much we got a chance to discuss for real, but obviously there's the size and the type of projectile. There's the angle of the projectile. Yeah. There's the behavior right after the incident. There's the everything from how he got removed to the scene to the hospital that he went to the doctors that treated him, to the lack of transparency on the autopsy, to the weird behavior of his wife, to the force feeding of this guy's memory into our brains over the last couple of weeks. All of it smells funky to me. All of it smells funky. So, I mean, everything down to, did you read that they did some searches and they found out that people in Washington, D.C., and people in that country not to be named searched for the names of specifically the doctors and the hospital in Utah specifically. Did you know this? A month before this went down.
Again, nothing concrete, but the circumstantial evidence is just piling up high.
Real high. Specifically by name, bro. All the doctors at the hospital and the hospital searched from IPs in Washington, D.C. and in that country not to be named.
Wow.
Specifically by name searched, like specifically in the name searched, because you can search traffic and when people are, when something's popular, when something's trending or whatever, and you can do specific searches. But if you really like zoom way down, obviously like people are searching thousands and thousands, right? But if you like get down into the minutia and you zoom way in, you'll see a spike. And up to a month before, and then the week before, there were searches for not only the hospital, but the doctors that would be there. So was it the U.S. government that did it?
To play ball.
Or, somebody gets a phone call, or, when you're picking up your kid from school, because that's the one that I think kind of really hits people. Anyway, so I just think that this is interesting. On September 10th, Mr. Kirk, an American right-wing political activist, was assassinated while addressing the audience on the campus of Utah Valley University. Now, here's another thing. George Floyd was a citizen. He wasn't a propagandist. He wasn't out in the media for real. Like, he's just a regular guy.
Yeah.
So that's another difference between him and, say, this guy. Obviously, Martin Luther King was a civil rights leader, so, these kind of threats come with that kind of stuff. The outdoor event was the first stop of a fall 2025 season of the American Comeback Tour and speaking and debate series planned by Turning Point USA, a conservative youth organization that he co-founded. Kirk was popped in the neck while engaging with an audience member about mass shoot 'em up bang bangs in the United States, and he was later formally pronounced deceased at a nearby hospital. Which again, I think it's been kind of back and forth whether or not it was the closest one, but I'll have to pull out a map to find out. Investigators stated a gunman was positioned on the roof of a building approximately 142 yards away from where Kirk was speaking. The next day, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson surrendered at the office of the local sheriff. The prosecutors charged Robinson with deletion, and on September 16th, and announced that they would seek the old death penalty. The alleged attack was politically motivated. But there's another part that I thought was kind of interesting in here. Hold on, where is it? Yeah, right here. And here's and again, this is only just another piece of information that I just found to be kind of interesting. It says, because I don't know if you paid attention over the last couple of months. I mean, they've been saying how dangerous it's been and blah, 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 blah. And Chicago, Oakland, Chicago. What is it? Baltimore.
Yeah.
The Kirk assassination occurred during a period of deepening division and increasingly frequent violence in American politics. It followed a series of violent political incidents, including June 2025 shootings, 2 Democratic Minnesota legislators and their spouses. In May 2025, the killing of 2 Israeli embassy staffers in Washington, D.C. In April 2025, arson attack on Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence. December 2024, the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, and assassination attempts on Trump in July and in September 2024. And at the campaign of in Kentucky with Nate Morris in 2025, Kirk himself spoke about the potential for violence. He told the crowd, "We're on the front lines and where it's not always safe." Broken Blade. I know you've got a little bit of familiarity with all of those cases. Are there any black folks anywhere near any of those situations?
Not that I know of. Not from what's been reported.
Ain't that something? So, like, if I were pointing fingers and I were to, like, I don't know, lay blame for political V word, you know what I'm talking about, schmilance. Wouldn't my focus be on non-melanated people?
You'd like to think that, yeah.
You wouldn't you? I mean, I don't know. I could totally be tripping, bro. I could totally be tripping, but it just seems to me that, you know,
It takes a real breed of psychopathy to the Jedi mind trick yourself on a mass scale like this.
right? But Oakland, though.
Yeah.
You know, like, but Oakland, though. So it made me want to just kind of go back and, like, you know, whenever sometimes there's little bits of information that I always kind of, I'm like, did I miss something? Is there some little information in there that I missed? So officially, James Earl Ray was one officially convicted of, deleting Martin Luther King Jr. But the case is mired in conspiracy and theories, mired in conspiracy theories and controversy. Now, it's not just a theory; it was an actual conspiracy. It's not a theory; it was an actual conspiracy. So we ought to get that right. In a later civil trial, not a criminal trial though, because there was nobody to put in jail at this point. A jury found that a wider conspiracy, including government agencies, was responsible for the assassination. Now, I kind of intentionally asked the question this way just to see what the answer I would get. And I thought it was really interesting that it says, including government agencies, the wider conspiracy, including government agencies, was responsible for the assassination. So the official case against James Earl Ray, the assassination on April 4th, 1968, Ray fatally shot King with a single rifle bullet while King was standing on a balcony of a Lorraine Motel, at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. Ray's identification: Ray, an escaped convict, was identified after he fled the scene and dropped a bundle containing the murder weapon, binoculars, and other items bearing his fingerprints. Doesn't that just seem just so convenient? Capture and plea following it.
Note too.
Maybe some bullets with the confessions scraped into the casing. I don't know. Capture and plea following an international manhunt. Ray was captured in London, and in 1969 he pled guilty to avoid the death penalty and was sentenced to 99 years in prison. Recanted confession. Ray recanted his confession just 3 days after he spent the rest of his life. Just 3 days later, and spent the rest of his life maintaining his innocence, claiming he was framed by a mysterious figure named Raoul. The King's civil lawsuit, 1999. The King family filed a lawsuit against Lloyd Jowers a Memphis restaurant owner who claimed involvement in the plot to kill King. The jury found in favor of the family and concluded that the Jowers and others, including government agencies, there's that government agencies again, were part of a conspiracy in the assassination. The family was awarded $100 in damages, having sought truth over monetary gain. Following the verdict, Coretta Scott King stated her belief that the jury's decision was supported by extensive evidence of a conspiracy involving various groups and government agencies. There's that government agencies again. Conflicting official investigations. Subsequent investigations have reached different conclusions regarding potential conspiracy. You don't say. I imagine if the people that did it were the ones that are investigating, they might, I don't know, reach different conclusions. The House Select Committee on Assassinations in 1979 found that Ray fired the fatal shot, that a conspiracy was likely, but concluded no government agencies were involved. There's that government agencies again. Department of Justice investigated in 2000, prompted by the civil trial, rejected the conspiracy claims due to a lack of credible evidence, including the findings of the Memphis jury. So I asked, which government agencies? It comes back in 1999, the civil lawsuit. A jury concluded that the assassination of Martin Luther King was a result of conspiracy involving Lloyd Jowers and unnamed government agencies. While the verdict did not specify which government agencies were involved, the context of these cases and earlier investigations point to several that have been subject to intense scrutiny. Didn't give me an answer. I was like, FBI. I basically came back and was like, answer the question. Please answer my previous question.
Yeah.
It comes back. Under the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover and his federal agency most closely linked to the controversy surrounding King's assassination, evidence of the FBI's effort to surveil, harass, and discredit King is well documented. Illegal surveillance. The FBI wiretaps King's phone lines, and bugged his hotel rooms for years in the lead up to his death. COINTELPRO campaign. The FBI ran counterintelligence program against King and the civil rights movement using informants and disinformation. In 1977, Justice Department report found this surveillance was very probably illegal. You think? Allegations of prompting suicide, deletion, self-deletion. Suspicions were fueled by the FBI's attempt to allegedly prompt King to do himself in. Inadequate investigation. The House Select Committee on Assassinations found that while the FBI's investigation into James Earl Ray was thorough, its probe into potential conspiracy was inadequate. Imagine that. Memphis Police Department. The Memphis Police Department was implicated in conspiracy theories with allegations suggesting some officers' complicity. Withdrawal security detail. The HSCA investigated why the Memphis Police Department withdrew a security detail assigned to King on April 3rd, 1968, the day before his assassination. The HSCA included the removal was not part of the conspiracy, attributing it to exasperation over the King Party's uncooperative attitude. However, this action has fed speculation about the official facilitation of the deletion. Involved officers, Lloyd Jowers, the restaurant owner sued by the King family, claimed the Memphis police were involved in the plot. The King family has stated that they believe that an MPD officer, Lieutenant Earl Clark, was the shooter. And then there's the CIA. The CIA has also been, the involvement of the CIA has also been raised, particularly in relation to illegal surveillance of King. The House Select Committee on Assassinations, however, firmly ruled out any involvement on the part of the CIA as well as the Secret Service and FBI in the assassination itself. Conflicting conclusions. While the family and jury of 1999 civil trial concluded that the government agencies, there's that government agencies again, conspired to kill King, other government investigations have reached different conclusions. So you're telling me that the government that's accused of actually doing it found that they weren't guilty of doing it. Got it. Okay. Department of Justice 2000, after new investigations prompted by the civil rights civil trial, the DOJ concluded that there is no credible evidence to support conspiracy allegations, including the civil court's jury's finding. Okay, got it. All right, so we didn't do nothing. So it still kind of blew a bunch of smoke up my skirt. And I said, no, really answer the question. It said, following the 1999 civil lawsuit, a jury concluded that the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. was a conspiracy that included government agencies, air quotes, while not specifically named in the verdict. Investigations and other evidence pointed to allegations against the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the Memphis Police Department, and the CIA also faced accusations, though official inquiries found no involvement. Can we put that in the same bucket with Charlie? What's his face? We might.
Somewhat, yeah. There's clearly some stuff that's not adding up.
I mean, it's just the motivations are different.
Yeah.
The motivations are different. But I mean, it kind of smells the same. I mean, it was a much more public situation. You know, like, could they have taken him out when he was at lunch or gone to dinner? They could have done him like Fred Hampton in his bed with his pregnant wife. Could have done him like that.
Like Stan Myers, the guy that made the water engine.
Mm-hmm.
Food at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I just,
it was loud.
Because I mean, you got to think about it. Like, we're kind of in the middle, right? I think we're politically Broken Blade. I think we're kind of politically homeless.
Yeah.
Right. And so John Bolton just got indicted. He was on the Trump administration the first time.
Yeah.
He was the guy that was undermining Trump. And I believe that he was communicating with foreign countries outside of Trump. And I believe that he was also feeding them information. That's, I think, what he's been indicted for. He was essentially, he was passing along information that could be deemed top secret. I think that's what they're eventually going to get him for. I'm going to do a whole full thing on that next week. But so he was doing that under Trump's nose, against Trump's will.
Yeah.
The Biden administration actually are the ones that started the investigation into him. Because at the beginning, he was on the other side.
Yeah.
But I think once they realized that he was undermining Trump, I think they kind of started to back off a little bit. And I think that's when you started seeing him on TV.
Yeah.
Well, he wrote a book. And I think a lot of the stuff that he was stealing and information that he was passing around, I think he put in that book. So this guy that was Trump's, all of a sudden, because Trump was like, that dude's crazy, forget that guy, right?
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden he's on the other side. So then he was jumping on MSNBC and CNN, and he was seeing him on TV in progressive and liberal television stations.
Yeah.
So it was like this weird, like, why are you putting this guy on TV? But it was because, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, as far as they were concerned.
Yeah.
And so the Trump administration picked up the investigation where the Biden administration left off, and Trump's got an axe to grind.
Well, he went in with an axe to grind.
He absolutely did. Absolutely did. I mean, so it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that that's the kind of thing going on. But so then you say, okay, well, if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk, I don't think Trump would have won. Because he really did move young voters. I think that he really did move young people. And so if I had control of the FBI, And that's another thing too, bro. Like this, like, how are we supposed to trust the FBI?
You don't.
We don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, why would I mean, like, I can't even walk away from you with my back turned. Like, I got to slowly back away. You know what I mean? Why are we putting our kids in in these schools? You know,
Yeah.
like, why do we even agree to cooperate? And I guess we'd have to, like, we don't have a choice, I guess, maybe. I think that needs to be explored. If our federal government is responsible and can be shown responsible for assassinating our leaders, like, how can they be credible for anything else ever?
Facts.
You know? And so it was funny because some guy was trying to argue with me in the comment section about some statistics, and I started to type. I'm like, this is like the same FBI that assassinates our leaders. Like, why would you think, why would I think that they're giving it to me straight?
Yeah.
You know? And so I don't know, I just thought that was really interesting. COINTELPRO. And I think this is, again, we just gotta, like, this is the kind of stuff that they're doing. And it'd be crazy for us to think that they're not doing it anymore. You know? FBI counterintelligence program targeted King using informants and disinformation. The effort aimed to disrupt, misdirect, and otherwise neutralize King's work.
The man only spoke about peace, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to get into the George Floyd stuff. It's easy enough to you know, 3, 4, 5 cops. My issue with that whole situation is that was just regular behavior for them.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, the issue isn't that they did it. The issue is that it was so regular that they're like, well, I don't even understand what the problem is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, what do you mean? We do this every day. We do this every day. I don't understand why. I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, you know, the guy's accused of doing something that he probably didn't do. You know, he's accused of passing something. All right. Accused. Once again, he never made it to court.
Yeah.
So anyway. So Broken Blade. Social media and the ladies. Social media and the ladies. Social media and the ladies. Do you think social media has ruined relationships?
Absolutely.
What do you think is, like, the biggest issue? Like, if you had to put your finger on it.
I'm thinking namely these like people use these platforms for dating. Like a 6 or 7 might get approached by well, like a 9 or a 10 once because he see it as a layup. He successfully smashes it. Now she thinks she's up that echelon perpetually. So when she meets like a guy that's like a 6 or 7, she's like immediately looking down her nose at him, thinking she can do better.
So it's like a so social media is making these ladies get a poor assessment of their attractiveness, or maybe their value. I think, yeah. And then the amount of options seems like it's a pretty big deal too, you know, if I had to guess. Because I remember when I was a kid, like I remember, there's almost even amount of boys and girls in each class. So if you really needed to like pair off, right? And it's like the numbers kind of matched. Obviously there's going to be outliers, but for the most part, everyone was relatively equal. There was like the jock, or like the kind of the better looking guys, and then a handful of the better looking girls, and there's a lot of people in the middle, and then there's a couple of girls and boys that were like, they fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down. And then like maybe not in your class, but like the class next door, or if not your school, like the school like that's in your town. But the internet has made it so that we're communicating with people all the way across the country or around the world. And, suddenly now I don't have to deal with anybody that's in my town.
Yeah.
And I can absolutely see how that would be a problem. What's that? What did he say? Once again, shout out to everybody. Beneath the jocks were the studs. Jocks were the studs. We didn't have very many studs when I'm older than you. I'm quite a bit older than you, Braxton. There really wasn't, bro. All this like super duper fluid behavior amongst teenagers is relatively new. Like we just didn't get down. There just wasn't like that. There was a couple of dudes that were maybe a little bit feminine. There's a couple girls that were maybe a little bit butch, but it never really came all the way down. The girls that played soccer and softball, if there were any of them, softball. If there was any of them that did it, it was those. And I think that there's a couple of them that swung that way or whatever. But see, the thing of it is that girls are allowed to go across that bridge and come back over again. They're allowed to dip in the pool and come back again. They have sleepovers. It's no big deal. No telling now that I know what I know, I'm like, oh, these girls were over there hunching on each other and scissoring and playing with toys and doing all sorts of stuff. And parents don't care. They just let them do, because they're like a bunch of girls. So they don't, as long as there's no boys in there, parents don't even look.
Yeah.
Or don't care to like investigate. So that to me now is like, whoa. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. So I get it now. And then, they trauma bond and whatever. And then, and then they can do whatever they want to do. And anyways, shout out to Mason Cameron on It Is What It Is. They asked this question. I thought it was really interesting. And I'm gonna let some of this play. I'm really more interested in Cameron's take, because he said a couple of things that I thought were pretty darn interesting. But let's look this right.
LeBron James got unfiltered on his wife's podcast.
I sped it up a little bit. Hold on. Just a little too fast. Oh yeah, because they're referencing LeBron James' situation and what he said.
With guests Kai, Sanat, and Phantom. The question was, do you think we live in a world where integrity is valued? He responded no and said, everything is so fake now. Being honest with people, everybody's so sensitive, so you're afraid sometimes to hurt people's feelings because you don't know how they're going to take it. LeBron talked about growing up in the 80s and the 90s and said that you could really say something to somebody and they wouldn't take it so personal. He also said every time you say something, people think you're talking to them. So after just hearing this from LeBron James, Maurice, going to have you go first. Does this...
Real quick, that was also pretty interesting. Anytime you say something, people think you're talking to them. Do you think that's true?
That is absolutely. Let's see that, like this is the main character syndrome type stuff. Like, people maybe refer to a different situation, make some slight remark about like somebody at work or whatever that they've been putting up with for like months. That they say it near somebody else, that they think you talked about them for some reason with no context.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Okay, my bad, Braxton. See, I've been retrained. I've been reconditioned. They've changed the definition of things now. Stud, like back in the day, studs were, yeah, stud was a different thing. You know, studs is a completely different story now. Dang, ain't that crazy? How they remixed it. They remixed what it is to be a stud. Huh. I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Shout out to Stat Baby.
Resonate with you, and then what's your take? Do you think that we
Right up my alley. I need to find one that kind of looks like that. That's the they just don't. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm in California. There's not a lot of them that look like this in California, but whatever.
live in a world where integrity is valued?
Well, I'll start there. I don't think integrity is valued anymore. And I think a lot is driven by social media. You know, where back in the day, you used to just have to see people and you had to be around them, and people, the reputation about who they were and what they said they did, and, you know, all that used to matter. And now when you can, you know, sort of create yourself online and you can create a fan base of people who believe in you. And
Money.com.
So what do you think about that, though? What he just said, that, you know, you don't have to be, since you're not around people, you know, it doesn't matter. And you can just kind of reinvent yourself. Do you feel like that's, do you, and again, I'm asking you how you feel specifically. I know we talk about that all the time, right? Because I am asking you what your general impression of your interpretation of things are. So I want to be specific about that, because I think people keep saying I feel way too much. And so I really want to get your general kind of take on just like, you know, your actual lived experiences. You know, do you find that, I mean, do you even get a chance to know anybody well enough these days?
Not really.
Damn.
So, like, I'm thinking about it, like, you talk about, like, online, and, like, absolutely, I agree with that. I'm thinking about it in person also, like, yeah, it's damn true, even in person.
Yeah.
It's like integrity, like work ethic, these things you assume would matter don't mean near as much as they should. And like the people that get along the best, the ones that put on the mask better. The ones that can smile big with the dance and soft shoe.
I could see that. And I kind of get it, because everybody wants to be, you know, loved and all, but I don't know, it just shocks me, because like eventually people are going to find out, bro. eventually, I don't know. Here, I wanted to hear what Cam says, because I thought it was really interesting, because he had an interesting, and at first I didn't agree with what he was saying, but
answered the question spot on. And one of the key words that you use, Mo, is, before we get back to integrity and everything else, the one key word that you just said that I love was fact check. There's no fact checking. Somebody say something, and that's just what it is, because niggas don't combat or even have time to feed into what a nigga say.
Man, I hate this word so bad. Can we please end the... Like, if you can't inherently respect a person that you're calling that name. You can't. And if you're just saying it like all of them, then you can't respect all of them. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just so much disrespect. I don't understand. I can't understand how, man, there's a rapper up here, La Russell, that's like popping off in Oakland, you know, like all, you know, on the E40 kind of train, doing it all solo. Yeah. You know, I think he like built a little like stage in his backyard and was like performing in his backyard. Like, when you talk about get it out the mud, he got it out the mud. But every other word is like, nigga. And I'm just like, bro, come on, dog. And he's got like conscious raps. He's got like, you know, pretty decent word playing, whatever, but still, so he could, so what I'm saying, I say that to say that he could do without it.
Yeah.
But, and he still is just like, I'm just like, bruh, because we're about to get a whole bunch of them.
Nigga be like, man, whatever, I don't give a fuck. So whatever niggas say, niggas is running with that. And it's no fact checking on what anybody.
Okay, so the way he's being dismissive, right? He clearly wouldn't respect anybody that he's talking about right now. He doesn't respect anybody that he could be talking about right now.
Right.
Gotcha.
He says, you just say whatever, and if nobody responds, that's what it is. Like, nigga, I'm like this whole week, not this week, last 6, 7 months, last year or two, all niggas, my name is in everybody's mouth, pause. Like, my name is week after week after week in somebody's mouth, and I make them.
Why do you think he makes the distinction between N-words and then goes everybody? Because if he really just meant everybody, then he would have just said everybody.
Yeah.
So he even inherently deep down is like making the distinction, because I'm like, no, I'm not just talking about these N-words, but I'm talking about everybody else too. So he can't make the argument like I'm just saying it like everybody. I mean everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you clearly don't mean everybody because you said this and then you said everybody else. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it's conscious, subconscious. I don't know, but it just gets under my skin. I hate it so much.
I'm emotional. Just off my name. My name come up. Mason got a line. Mason name bring emotions. My Cam name bring emotions, man. And then I don't be giving a fuck, so I don't be fact checking niggas, and then niggas run with it, and it's no fact checking. But back to what Mason said was spot on, and what LeBron said. Look, it's another thing when you can't speak your mind. Like, we're one of them countries that be like free speech. No, the fuck it ain't free speech. You say the wrong thing, you get
it's going to cost you.
Yeah, it's going to cost you one way or another. This is not no fucking free speech out here. You say the wrong thing. Look, we seen, and I don't know how much y'all keep up. You know, I'm very diverse when it comes to entertainment and everything. But we just see, and I won't comment on why, but we just seen, damn, I'm so mad I can't, was it Fallon? The nigga fucking Jimmy Kimmel. He got kicked. Two weeks ago. Yeah. He was up there for 2 weeks for saying something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying what he said was right, and he shouldn't have been canned, because I don't nigga trying to cancel me for approving what he said. I'm not approving what he said. I have no opinion on what he said. I don't even want to be around that topic. I'm sorry somebody lost their life, and it's a travesty. But I'm just trying to say, that's Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Niggas told him have a seat, nigga. Watch your mouth, have a seat and sit down until we call you back, because he was off the air indefinitely. And he's off the air for about 10, 11 days. But it's Jimmy Kimmel. They told him, yo, sub out, hit the bench. You can't say what you want to say, and you have to be mindful. And especially we in an era where if you got a smartphone, you have an opinion. You can live in your mama basement with 2 dogs and a cat in Louisiana, whatever the worst part of Washington State. You can live on the borderline in between Washington and Vancouver and a hole in the wall, and you can have an opinion. And it may irk the biggest celebrity that you got. And then they can be like, oh shit, Kim Kardashian responded to what I said. That's all they be wanting sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a response. But if you got a smartphone, you can have an opinion. That's just the way it works. Whether you like a nigga opinion, don't like it. Sometimes these niggas just be wanting a response. But and that's my opinion on that. But back to LeBron in the 80s and 90s, even television. I just put up a post the other day,
this is kind of what I wanted to get to right here.
A lot of people may be too young to know the TV show Dallas. They used to come on Knots Land in Dallas, all that. But I put up a post. It was a character on the show named JR, and his wife asked her, what slut you going to sleep with tonight? And he responded,
there's more to love with YouTube Music Premium.
Let's see.
And the slut I'm looking at now, this was on CBS. And he responded, what does it matter? It got to be more interesting than the slut I'm looking at now. This was on CBS. This was on CBS, my nigga. You know, you got Archie Bunker. People don't know that show. All in the Family, late 70s, early 80s. Call niggas niggas. This nigga just walked in my house. You know, niggas would be outraged today. This is a white out.
Would they though? Because you just been saying it over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I get it. He's hood. He's an artist. He's a, you know, whatever, but
the TV shows that was based on racism, Sanford and Son, poverty, Jefferson's moving on up, good times, niggas got to walk up 18 flights of stairs. This was all how people were living, and because black people and brown people as well evolved economically, some of that shit ain't gonna be tolerated, but shit definitely got you softer where you can't say anything. Kevin Hart had a special, and he said something in his special where he was like, yo, I met this lady. It was a joke about somebody with one arm. But after the joke, he said, listen. It was just a joke, y'all, because I don't want the one-arm community coming after me. But he was serious. You can't even make a joke. That'd be terrible for comedians because they can't really say what they want to say because we live in a sensitive society.
Okay. Question, Broken Blade. Is it that someone told a nasty joke, or was it because the joke was meant to hurt? And do you think people make the distinction?
Sadly, nowadays, I don't think people really make the distinction. I have heard situations on like both sides where I hear like, okay, I see that was a joke, but like the timing of it or the context, like, yeah, you could have waited on that one.
Too soon.
Yeah, like literally, like what's his name? Gilbert Godfrey.
Mm.
He was doing the voice of that duck for like the Affleck commercials.
Mm-hmm.
He lost that because he was cracking jokes about the tsunami in Japan while it was going down. While it was happening, like, come on, bro.
Yeah, a lot of people passed that thing.
Yeah. Decent one-liners, but like, dude, like, wait a few months.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Because I, yeah, you're right. I don't think people do draw a distinction. And again, and it kind of circles back to this Charlie Kirk thing, right? So, you know, could he say that he didn't intentionally spread bad statistics, or could he say that I unintentionally spread or I unintentionally cherry picked the statistics? Could he say that? I mean, he could say
Not
that.
really.
He could say that. We just wouldn't believe him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he
it's
could.
literally your job to have these debates. Like, you should be doing your research.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that he has, and just cared not to tell the truth, as it were, or tell the complete truth, or deal with his side of the aisle. You know, I mean, there's plenty of crime that, you know, non-melanated people commit that could be addressed publicly, especially in a basically all white state at an all white college with an all white audience. I mean, I even went back and looked and I still couldn't find a single black person, not a cop, not a janitor, not a nothing. In that whole situation, I didn't find one brown face, black face. That's crazy. That's
Actually,
crazy, dog.
Richard Pryor answered that. Well, the black folks are in Utah.
Where?
Behind bars.
Goddamn. Shout out to Richard Pryor. That's crazy.
Talk about behind the scenes movie, Stir Crazy.
You know what? I need to go back and watch a couple. I think that there's a couple of movies of his that I, you know, because it's a little bit before our time, you know, like
Stir Crazy is great. Which Way Is Up is another favorite.
Which Way Is Up?
Yeah.
That's what's up. We might have to do a review. I wonder how hardcore the copyright stuff will be on that. Is that old stuff you can kind of get away with a little bit more movie watching and stuff. Bro, why do they keep trying to make us?
Again, I've not heard anybody in this space try to defend what happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
No one is trying to defend that dude. He's a schizophrenic. His family don't mess with him. May she rest in peace. That should never happen. But that was not racially motivated.
Absolutely.
Part of the legacy. And then on the back, it's the first and last time I'll put a cross on it.
It just seems so performative to me. And then look, is this what you want? This is what you want. This is what they want, Broken Blade. This is it right here. This is it. That's how they want all these people to feel. This is what Steven Crowder was talking about. Now, here's the thing. Never mind. But we can't get justice for somebody getting hung from a tree, though.
Yeah.
Right? You don't see any of those photos. You don't see any of that stuff.
Bro, pick that baby. Bro, pick that baby up, bro. What the fuck? Oh, hell no. Bro, pick that baby up, bro. Bro, pick that baby. Bro, pick that baby up, bro. What the fuck?
Gee, I wonder why Brian McKnight left.
This is Ray J. On the left, I believe, is his current girlfriend, whom I believe is pregnant with his child now. And then the other side is that girl, Christiane Rock, who's had a child with Blueface, who I think that is Blueface's child that's in her arms there. But the whole studio just found out that this Christiane Rock person is now pregnant again with Ray J's baby. So allegedly, Ray J has this girl on the left and this girl on the right pregnant at the same time.
Shit, man.
Yeah, this type of behavior is getting
See chocolate milk? Chocolate dick?
So mother's
See
daughter,
chocolate
okay?
milk? Chocolate dick? See chocolate milk? Chocolate dick? See chocolate milk? Chocolate dick?
You know what I think is funnier? I think the funnier thing about it is that mom and sis or whatever probably like, how do you know? she's a natural. She knows. Oh, I thought that was funny. That was hilarious. Anyway, man, that's all. This is the weekend. I'm trying to keep it nice and mellow for the day. I'm editing a bunch of videos and stuff already. Man, what's his face? Tariq Nasheed. Ooh. Oh, she about to run you over, bruh. You better get out the way. Oh, wow. What happened to being protectors? Ooh, she kind of looked Ethiopian from here. She probably asked for it. I'm just saying. Tariq, she got that Ethiopian forehead. Tariq Nasheed is wow, IDF rape e-parring what you call it, caught on video. Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, for real, Brax. You got that foot up there nice, that crescent kick.
He really did. He really did. Like, bip. That was like, which one of y'all kicked me? Is that Rush Hour?
Yeah.
Rush Hour going. Oh, wow. Huh. This is probably gonna get me kicked off of. Let's change this to mute it because so we don't hear anything. Don't want to get copyrighted that way. That would be a terrible way to get copyrighted. So it's not just us, huh? That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough of that. Don't need any of that. Yeah, man. Tariq Nasheed's been just rocking, just crushing TikTok. Just killing TikTok, bro. He never was really on there, and
good, like it's needed.
Yeah. You know, I didn't, bro, so many people are triggered. They're so triggered. I'm not trying to watch any of that stuff, bro. This stuff is absolutely triggering. Tell you what. Oh, yeah, I don't want to see none of that either. Look, man, here's what I'll say. I'm not even trying to do a whole bunch of, I'm not getting into it, a lot of it tonight. I'm not really trying to do all that. I got stuff to do. But before I let Broken Blade close, what I'd like to say once again, actually here, hold on. Let me just start. Okay. What I would like to say is this is kind of a public service announcement, man. This is to like, I don't think that Black women really listen to me. I don't think outside of like my immediate family, they really hear anything that I have to say. But I know a lot of Black women think that they know everything. And they think that they kind of understand what's going on. Right. And part of being a man is being able to see around the corners and knowing where the danger is. And this protection that these women think that they have comes from these people that are doing these things in these systems that they've created to keep you subservient, broke, and paying your taxes and keeping your kids in the jails. And it's dangerous out here for these young men, and these young men are not prepared properly. You're not prepared properly, Black women. You're crashing out and having, you know, emotional breakdowns in your car or at your job or at the house or, you know, because you're by yourself and you're all stressed out. Well, you did it to yourself. And my point really isn't to trip on you, is just to say that, like, you should figure out, you should get your houses in order. Get your homes in order. You know, reestablish your relationships with your children, because it wouldn't be crazy for me to say that your son probably hates you or your daughter probably hates you because of your behavior. Your kids are going through stuff that they shouldn't have to go through, that you should be protecting them from, or your dad or their dad would maybe normally protect them from, and he may not be around to do that. These cops are hanging kids from trees, man. Like, these boys are hanging kids from trees. You know, and you know, maybe your baby's father isn't the best guy, but he's better than Billy Bob or Bartholomew and his homeboys down the way that are going to string your kid up. And I don't have a dog in a fight for real. I just hate seeing young Black men getting into trouble. I think that there's enough stuff going around right now. We shouldn't have to be getting ourselves into trouble. And I don't hear anybody telling Black women like, hey, your kids are in danger. You're in danger. And it's too late for me to do something for you. It's too late for Broken Blade to do something for you. You know, maybe your dad wasn't around, so it's too late for him to do something for you. You have to figure it out, but you're in danger. And the only people that will care enough about you to help, you talk down on and you disrespect. Bro, I was doing the math, man. It's going to be a long, hard life for a bunch of these ladies, man. When you do the math on how many single Black women there are going to be in the United States in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. The age of these single mothers. When these women, look, we're chock full of cancer, all of us. What? Brian McKnight's son died at 32, cancer. D'Angelo just died at 51, cancer. Right? Like, we're not living that long. Like, we're in and out of the hospital. We're sick. As a people, we are sick. So these ladies are raising up hoodlums or whores that don't particularly like them very much. And then when they get sick, who's going to come help you? And that son or daughter is not going to be your insurance policy like you think they're going to be. They're not. Because the guy that teaches to have that unconditional love is the father teaches unconditional love. The father is the one that teaches unconditional love. The father demonstrates unconditional love. If he's not around and they don't learn what that looks like or feels like, then they can't give it to you.
Facts.
You get sick and you're looking for a handout, or you're looking for a place to live, or you're looking for a ride to the hospital, or help with the medicine, or help paying the bills. They're going to be like, what have you done for me lately? And they're not going to look twice at you. They will feel zero obligation to help you. Zero obligation to help you. I was just thinking about that mess last night, bro. I was like, man, it's going to be a cold game. Because, bro, just do the math on how many single mothers, Black single mothers, there's going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And then layer that on top of the age of some of these women and when they're going to be hitting the healthcare system. Like, it's ugly, bro. It's ugly. It's ugly. Right? And all these girls got these fake booties and overweight already, high cholesterol, diabetes. Like, anyway, I just had to say it out loud, dog, because it was just on my heart. I'm like, look, I ain't got no dog in the fight. I ain't gonna mess with you because I ain't gonna deal with you or your kids. That's on you. That's on you. I got a strict rule about single mothers at this point. So, you know, it kind of is what it is. But that doesn't mean that I want to see people that look like me suffer either. You know? And so I personally, I just want to end on that. Anything you want to say, bro, before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man. About the situation with our families, man. Like, it pains me to say, but yeah, Black men absolutely play a part in that also, and why these relationships are so broken. Straight up lack of dick discipline. Some scriptures I read, I think yesterday. 2 Samuel 6:20 through 23. What happens here? Basically, King David, he just recovered the Ark of the Covenant. He's brought it back to Jerusalem. He's in a big celebration with the people. And one of his wives, a woman named Michal, who's daughter of the daughter of King Saul, who just passed, and he's just taking his position, and David just took in his position as king. She's in a foul mood seeing them celebrate like this. And so the conversation they had was he returns home. They called the daughter of Saul, came out to meet him. She said in disgust, "How distinguished the king of Israel look today, shamelessly exposing himself to servant girls, like any vulgar person might do." David retorted to Michal, "I was dancing before the Lord, who chose me above your father and all his family. He appointed me as leader of Israel, the people of the Lord, so I celebrate before the Lord. Yes, I'm willing to look even more foolish than this, even to be humiliated in my own eyes. But those servant girls you mentioned will indeed think I am distinguished." So Michal, daughter of Saul, remained childless throughout her entire life. She started giving the grief. The issue of the vine ended with her.
That's crazy. Like you'll never, ooh, and see, and so he intentionally didn't knock her up. Is that what happened, or God just didn't bless her? So,
It sounds like he intentional. He intentionally,
and she couldn't go skedaddle either, right?
No.
So she was like actually in, like,
and there been no place for her to go. Now I sit and think about it. Like her father was king, but he died.
Yeah. That's very interesting. I don't know why I didn't. Yeah.
So we have to be careful where we place our seed. Be ready and willing to prune the vine as needed. In regard to Charlie Kirk, in this whole situation, tried to compare him to the likes of Martin Luther King and George Floyd. Martin Luther King was important because he was fighting for civil rights. He was trying to show the public that black people were equal to white people. There were no difference other than our physical appearance. We had the same intellectual and emotional capacity. George Floyd, though a criminal, he presented us clear-cut evidence of what we've been talking about for centuries, about the mistreatment of black people at the hands of the police. All Charlie Kirk's death proved was the schism in white America. This is not the same. I've been kind of studying chess here and there. And the more I'm learning the game, the more I'm understanding why white America seems so hell-bent on trying to place a leader in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
Chess is a game of sociopathy and tyranny. Period, point blank. Essentially, it's a simulated war. And each piece has like a number or a score attached to it. So he's teaching you immediately to place an arbitrary value on a life. Fuck this guy's hopes and dreams. He's only a pawn. Just a GI. Deeper than that, what's the one piece that's the most important?
Well, the king ends the game, but everyone will say the queen.
No, the king is the queen is the most versatile.
Most versatile, yeah. But people will be brainwashed to say the queen, but the king is the most important because that'll end the game.
King is most important.
Mm-hmm.
And it teaches you like this, the many strategies of chess teaches you basically everything else is expendable, including the queen, including the bishop, including the knight.
Hmm.
The love of your life, your moral compass, your day ones.
I never thought of it that way.
Bringing it back to MLK and this whole ongoing racial conflict. This is why they've always like there's always certain parties trying to put Tariq Nasheed as our leader.
Yeah.
Or Attorney Dennis Sperling.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they think they have a king. All we have to do is checkmate him.
Yeah.
No, bitches.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
ain't the game we're playing.
No, not anymore.
There's far more many of us with crown now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The truth is our king. God is our king. Keep playing this game all you want to, but you never get this checkmate you think you're gonna get. A house divided among this, the house divided against itself cannot stand.
Mm-hmm.
This country was built on lies and hypocrisy, and we all know it. Acknowledge this truth or defend this lie to your own peril. I'll land my plane there.
Ooh, broken blade spitting, boy. Spitting. Real talk, man. That's, yeah. I agree 110%. I agree 110%, man. And it's, oh yeah, that kid probably has Down syndrome, bro. It already looked, the way the kid looks off and looks around, the kid's already, because bro, they were partying, smoking, drinking, they were doing all the drugs. Like, that kid's not gonna have a regular shake. So I think this was, oh boy. Anyway. Oh boy. Hey man, real talk. You guys, please stay out of trouble, man. Keep your head down for a little bit. You know what I mean? You don't have to be outside all the time. Get in early, get some sleep, work on your fitness, eat good. You know what I'm saying? Cook instead of going out. Like, don't be, oh God, man. People are out here tripping, man. Don't, please just don't. Everywhere I look, I see danger, you know? And, you know, I just,
That ain't new to us either.
nah, it's not new, but people are feeling extra entitled right now. Right. And entitled to do, not to just say stuff, but entitled to like do violence.
Yeah.
And it's not taking much to like spin somebody up right now, you know? And I want us to just stay out the way, bro. I just want us to stay out the way. Like, let these people go at each other for a little while. Like, stay out the way. And I think that the only people that aren't listening are the people that I was talking about earlier, are like the children of these kids, of these women. And look, I'm not saying that bad kids don't come from 2-parent households also, but what I'm saying is that it's an 80% chance that they come from a single mother household. And I just really don't want to see my people messed up. I don't want to see us filling the jails. I don't want to see us getting beat on the street. I don't want to see us hanging from trees. Like, it's exhausting. And And like, I personally am at the point to action. And like, I don't want to be to the point of action, because that means that, you know, me and my safety and the people around me is at risk. I don't want that. Cody Marshall, shout out to you, bro. Also remember, there's lots of inbreeding too. Well, there's that. There's definitely that. We try not to deal with that, but that, I mean, that is a thing. So yeah, but shout out to Cody Marshall. Thank you, brother. We would say NBA young boy in NOLA for 2 days. Man, I wish I had that clip of Stephen A. Smith. We don't care. We don't care. But shout out to you for the $2 holla, dog. I appreciate you. I'm too old for NBA young boy. The appreciation for NBA young boy is outside of me. Outside of me. Wow, this is a really long clip. This dude trying to fight. It's crazy. I'm just kind of stuck. Anyways. Yeah, man. What's you gonna say?
Maybe we could do a show on this sometimes. Oh, them idiots at Hot Shows got themselves in trouble again.
Oh, what they do? What they say? I saw they were trying to talk about white people the other day, so I was like, oh, they must have gotten a phone call like, you need to lay off the black folks for a minute. But what happened?
Oh, they got on some chick, some like little girl that was like a fan of this some new guy, some guy named Youngblood, rock artist. He was on, he had her on stage or whatever. It should have been just a cool moment, but they got their fans all to an uproar about the girl being trans and all this nonsense. The girl's not even trans; she's cisgendered, and it kickstarted all of this bullshit about literally about nothing.
So what? So he got checked by white folks. They got checked by white folks.
Oh yeah,
ain't that something? They got that wake up call, huh? Was it do they have a video on their channel or somebody else?
It's somebody else's channel. I saw the.
So we don't have to look at it now, but you can, if you find it, email it to me.
Yeah,
I'm kind of, part of me, because Rogan Blade, I'm at this point where I'm like, I don't want to talk down on black men at all, and I don't even really consider those dudes black. So, you know, it's like, okay, I guess I need to point out some of the things, but demeaning them also, it's like, I don't want to demean another black person. It's more like, come on, bro, you know better. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make any sense? Like, instead of like,
I get that, but at this point, it's like, if you don't see what it is at this point, you're still playing the game. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, absolutely.
The hard line, I'm not accepting you into the ranks because I'm not trying to worry about getting shot in my kidneys behind your questionable ass, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we can, if they need to be isolated better or you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's not like they're in the community anyway. That makes any sense. You know, it's like, how do you address someone like that absolutely hates you, that's perfectly comfortable not being, because, you know, him, Whitlock, you know, was this the Stevie Smith, whatever?
Stevie Knight, yeah.
Whatever, Knight, that's his name, Stevie Knight. You know, he got his papers, he got his wake up call recently also. Officer Tatum, right? I think he got another wake up call recently, right? It's like this, bro.
I think Tommy Sotomayor, or I heard got one.
Oh, did he really?
Hey, 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 it's Floyd Albert. And hey, 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 it's Floyd Albert. And hey, 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 it's Floyd Albert.
And this is what I've been saying. You know, we've said this a couple of times on this show. He cannot sit with the white folks. They don't respect a black person who betrays his own community, is seen as lacking integrity, courage, and loyalty. Betraying one's people for personal gain is a fundamental violation of trust and human decency. Even the white folks ain't gonna trust you, fool. They're like, oh, he's a sell. If he'll sell us out, he'll stab you in the back real quick. At least the black guy that's freaking making all this noise and causing trouble for us, at least he's standing on something. You know, like you shake his hand and he says he's gonna do what he's gonna do. We can trust him to do that. We can respect that. But this, and that's exactly how all these dudes are. It's like, yo, you're a mouthpiece for these, you know, YT supremacists. And then you think that you're gonna come back over on this side, and you're not safe over there. They're gonna string you up first. So anyway. Man, shout out to everybody that came through. Braxton, Cody, thank you so much, brother. Cody, Tommy Sotomayor too, huh? Dang, he was over there. Dang, who was he trying to butter up? Was he on like Fox News or something? Yeah, I saw that. Ramaswamy got another wake-up call. He did, because all these dudes are thinking that they can go sit in front of these white kids that have been already getting primed up for their bigotry, right? What did JD Vance say? Kids will be kids. Kids make mistakes. They just do, you know, just don't put that stuff on your text message. Don't not do it. Just don't put it on text message, because that's the message, right? Yeah. So we know what time it is. So I think, and like I said, man, I never went full Tim or whatever his name is, Scott. You know, but there was definitely a time where I thought, I'm like, I have to like navigate this thing. And I never wrote off black people, but I also, and I stood up for black people too. But I thought that if I just stayed quiet and kept my head down and just worked and just did my job, then I would somehow be okay. And then, you know, you find out that like,
meritocracy and work ethic would mean something.
Yes.
Silly
so
us.
yes. So that was where I was at. But I never demeaned my own people to do it though. You know what I mean? Like I was never on that thing. That never sat right with me. I would never do it. I always defended, you know, our own people. I would to myself shake my head, be like, God damn it. There's always some knucklehead that's knocking over a liquor store, or some knucklehead that's doing X, Y, or Z. But that happens for everybody, but they just use our excuses like the end all be all. And so, you know, it took me a while to really understand the trick play that was being run on us. So anyway, yeah, guys, all you got is your, like, the only people that are going to look at you as regular, like real people, are people like us that look like us, you know. And at the end of the day, like, you know, I'm not saying that there's not good white folks. I'm just saying that you're better off being trusted and trusting in people that look like you. So anyway, though I'm a Republican, I like Trump, I still know the bull on that side of the aisle. For sure. I had a conversation the other week, this last weekend, that was, somebody asked me, they're like, well, if Trump is like this, how do you justify being a Republican? And I'm like, look, like, as far as the nuclear family, conservative values, fiscal responsibility, trying to spend less on some of these programs, some of the programs that have destroyed my community, I land on that side of the aisle. I have to hold my nose and vote, because I understand that, you know, they're still they're still in support of these heavy-handed cops, and I'm being nice when I say it like that, and these racist policies. But still, that's closer to where I want to be culturally, or as far as politically, than the other side, you know. Maybe I don't necessarily agree, like I said, with ICE doing what they're doing exactly, because I understand how they can be heavy-handed, but I do know that there's a whole lot of brothers that couldn't get trucking jobs, you know, a year ago now have opportunities. I know that there's an entire chicken farms and meat processing plants and construction sites and stuff that we've been frozen completely out of that are now empty, and they're looking for jobs. And there's people that like me that can probably get a job now. That's in my best interest. That's in the interest of my people. So as much as I have to hold my nose to do it, I'm going to support that side because that's closer to what is actually getting some progress for me and mine.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, wow, I never really thought of it that way. And I was like, it just kind of is what it is. I mean, I have to be, you have to be, within a two-party system, no party is going to give you everything that you want, and, I really wish that the Republican Party would address the bigotry. I wish that, and I'm going to start using that word because racism has gotten kind of overused, because I don't think that many white people have that much power over me. The people that do, but we're just hearing these, these bigoted white kids that eventually will have an opportunity to make decisions affecting Black people later on in their life. Anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Braxton, really too appreciate you, bro. Yep. I might. No, that's a little late. I'm not going to stream. I'm going to stream a class tomorrow morning. I'm also going to do a live tomorrow on the other channel. I'm going to discuss boxing gloves. So, and then I'll probably do a live after that, or do a class after that. Maybe I'll do the class first. And then I'll do a live on boxing gloves. Just doing a kind of just a clinic on things to look for, differences between some of the gloves and so on and so forth. I thought that was really interesting because I was, in the bag, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of stuff that people don't really know about. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably post it in the community tab after I set up the live for tomorrow. So anyways, shout out to you, man. Once you got truly appreciate you, and Broken Blade and I will catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, because that's just what's happening. We are winning. We winning.